Good afternoon to you, wherever you may be located this afternoon. It is Solutions 93.9 FM, and of course, the show is Political Update. Of course, the mandate on the show is to keep you very well informed and updated about happenings in our polity, either locally or globally. My name is Ayodeji Ajishokwe presenting. It's always a pleasure and a privilege to be with you. And of course, producing me is Victory Oyedikachi. This afternoon, we're going to be talking on two issues. One, local as in our immediate environment. And of course, the other one, national. The very first issue we're going to be talking about is the issue of local government, about governance in Nigerian space. What levels and tiers of government do we have? We have the local government. We have the state government, the one you call the subnational, the one you call the federating unit. Of course, the local governments too are subnational, and of course, you have the national government, the federal government. In this regard, there is an interplay of forces, an interplay of issues regarding the relationship between these three tiers of government. So this afternoon, of course, there has been the demand and request for what is called restructuring. And people tend to think that restructuring is a political matter. But of course, we have also seen and discussed on this platform the issues that has to do with judiciary. That, of course, the judiciary too has to be, reconfigured. So also the relationship between the three tiers of government. This afternoon, we're going to be talking about the case the federal government, the Attorney General of the Federation specifically, are sticking to the Supreme Court regarding the autonomy of local government, especially financial autonomy. It is a known fact that in this space, Nigeria today, the governors have a strangling vice hold on the local government. They don't even get to smell the allocations from them. And these allocations are guaranteed by the relationship between the federal, state, and local governments. But we have had our own governor in Oyo State even say that he does not believe in local government. And we have had cases of local governments being appointed, even in spite of the Supreme Court judgment, that there is a guarantee in the Constitution for local governments to be democratically elected. Therefore, we're going to be taking a look at this afternoon. The case in the Supreme Court brought to it for interpretation by the Attorney General of the Federation of the relationship between the state and the local governments in terms of financial autonomy. I'll be back shortly. Of course, I have two gentlemen who are going to be doing the analysis. The first gentleman is, of course, the two of them are legal practitioners. One is apolitical, completely apolitical, and of course, what that means what we're going to be getting is simply legalese and legal interpretations of the laws. And of course, the other gentleman, he is a legal practitioner. He's a traditional chieftaincy title holder, a mortgagee specifically, and of course, he's also a politician. So he can give us the political angle to this case in the Supreme Court. I'll be back shortly as I link up with my guests.
Which way to go? Oh yeah. I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Many years after independence, we still find it hard to start. How long shall we be patient before we reach the promised land? Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way? Which way Nigeria? Tell me which way to go. I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Every little thing that goes wrong, we start to blame the government. We know everything that goes wrong because we are part of the government. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Tell me which way to go. Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Want to know which way Nigeria is heading to.
Yeah, thank you so much for staying with us. Joining me virtually this afternoon is the legal practitioner, Mr. Folusho Olapo, barrister at law. A good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon, this afternoon, sir. Baraka Disala and happy Father's Day in arrears.
Oh, yes, that's a whole lot of combination of dynamics. Thank
Yes,
you for
sir.
joining us.
You're welcome, sir.
Yes, I introduced you before I connected to you that a legal practitioner and, of course, without political affiliations. So I
Yes,
guess
sir.
what we're going to be getting from you is legal, purely legal stuff without being tainted with political, the one we call jaundiced political opinion. Yes, the issue before us this afternoon is, of course, that we have had calls for restructuring, especially the dynamics between the federal authorities and the federating units, which is the state government. But also, they have had this strangle vice hold of governors on the local governments that has resulted virtually in non-performance, no development at local level. And suddenly, just a few weeks back, we saw the federal government, the Attorney General of the Federation, head to the Supreme Court for an interpretation of sections of the Constitution regarding the financial relationship between the state and the local governments. Can you please bring us to speed on details of this matter as brought before the Supreme Court by the Attorney General of the Federation?
All right, thank you very much, sir. For ease of understanding of our listeners, I want to tell us that the 1999 Constitution actually set up a three-tier of government. Each is supposed to be able to perform. Even the Constitution provides that both the states and the federal government shall fund the local government. So, but in the process, especially Section 7 of that Constitution, provides that the states shall, make laws or to ensure the existence of local governments, and it shall make law in regard to its establishment, structure, composition, finance, and functions of such councils. So it appears that provision was so large that the states, rather than doing what the Constitution says that they should, with the federal government funding the state government, the local government, by way of setting up a joint account, wherein the federal government will have to pay their own, and the states too will have to pay, because the state is expected to pay some percentage of the allocation to the local government. But what happens now is that rather than the state paying such percentage to the local government, the state now took over the allocations to the local government and begin to, use it as of right, as if it's their own fund, thereby, killing the third tier of government. So it appears that the APC government, I say that with in parentheses, because what happens with the Attorney General going to the Supreme Court did not start from this government. It started with the Buhari government. If you could remember the...
he signed an executive order.
Yes, executive order. Thank you very much, sir. Signing an executive order and the government going to court and the state government going to court to nullify that order and all that. It appears the state, the APC government actually want to bring back the intendment of the Constitution regarding the finance, the autonomy, because the state seems to be autonomous. Seems, I use that word too in parentheses, because when we look at what the Constitution itself provided for, it appears the state is not that autonomous in the first place. If they have to go to Abuja every month to get allocation, so that means that the federal government could actually, do whatever they like, even to states. But fortunately, it appears that the federal, it was not that, I don't know how to put it really. I don't want to say things that are not too good. But the states appears to be too, I don't know. They are like an emperor.
Overbearing.
Yes, too overbearing on the local government, thereby seizing and even taking up the functions, some of the functions of local government. Today, you can scarcely go to any local, even motor parks, making street roads, and all the functions that the local government are supposed to be doing. Parking, debt, and all that. It's supposed to be local government functions, but the state now has to take them over because actually they have taken over the fund of the state government, of local government. So they have now to begin to, just allocate whatever they think they want, maybe for the payment of salaries. And that is why it appears things are not working.
So
because
the local governments have been paralyzed, so to say.
They have been paralyzed, and everything have to, it's like a grassroots. A grass that say it doesn't wanted a root, then we die like a tree. So if a nation said it doesn't have to do anything, that it doesn't want to have some structures at the grassroots, then to that extent it's standing on nothing. And like Lord Dennis says, you cannot put something on nothing. So it will collapse. So the federal government is trying to ensure that, okay, let's see if we could actually get a grassroots, or if we could actually get a foundation for this country, because without that foundation, which is the local government, even the federal itself doesn't have line, doesn't have anything. It's floating. So the federal government is floating, doesn't have any. The only thing it has is the federal capital territory, and that is why if you really want to say it. So it is the state and the local government, especially the local government, that have the majority of the things that the state is even banking on. Now making that the part or that fear to become redundant seems to be very unconstitutional, and I think the federal government seems or is willing even to do something regarding that, and probably that is why the Attorney General have to approach the Supreme Court, especially having...
What are the things the Attorney General is requesting for from the Supreme Court of our nation?
Well, majorly two things. One, that the funds for local government should go directly to a local government account. And that secondly, that the governors should stop what I would call administrative governance. Disbanding elected elected chairmen and councillors, and
The
putting the
Constitution also clearly states that the local government shall be by democratically elected governments.
Of course, let me read that section out for ease of understanding. Section 7.1 said, the system of local government by democratically elected local government councils is under this constitution guaranteed, and accordingly, the government of every state shall, subject to certain, and to Section 8 of the Constitution, ensure their existence. They shall, underline, ensure their existence under a law which provide for the establishment, structure, composition, finance, functions, and etc. So,
but if the Constitution is finance, doesn't that put the financing under the control or management of the state somehow? Has that been dealt with?
Excuse me, I can't.
I mean, if the Constitution says finance of those local governments shall be subject, to prescription by the state government.
By the laws of local state government.
So doesn't that put the financing of it under the state government? Yes,
of course. But if you look at some other section of the Constitution, it said, I think Section 6 or thereabout, I'm not with the Constitution. It says that both the federal and the state, shall ensure the financing of local government. So why the state government should allocate, the federal government will allocate some finances to the state. So, and that is why the Constitution provided for a joint account between the state and local government, so that the federal government will have a place to drop that
money,
the allocation. And the Constitution also stated that the state too should, pay part of their capital into that joint account. So it is not. The Constitution actually stated how they can get that money. But the problem here now is this, that immediately the federal government, drop their own allocation to that joint account, instead of the state, paying the percentage that whatever percentage they wanted to pay into that account, then they just, pull off the money and begin to expend it as if it's their own. And that is what,
that section of the Constitution, has it been amended? Because, what happens now if, as it is, the status quo, and then the state government is still empowered constitutionally somehow at an advantage over the local government?
Yes, of course. And that is why, to me, to some extent, it will appear that the first prayer of the Attorney General may not stand.
Which is?
You see, the matter is in court, and we can not really just
what is the first prayer?
Yes, the first prayer is the autonomy of the Constitution of the local government, and because of Section 7 that I've just read out, you see, it is all encompassing. The state government has to make laws regarding the structure, the finance, and everything.
Finance.
Yes, of the local government. So I don't know, but like we usually say in law, where there is a wrong, there's a remedy. The Supreme Court might be able to bring about some remedies regarding that. But the second prayer, the Supreme Court had actually ruled on that severally. That is regarding appointing administrators or whatever they call it, even in respect of local government. It's unconstitutional, it's illegal. So to that extent, state governors should not just have a brainwave and just decide one day that they do not want some people, because those people were not, I don't want to say appointed, because they were supposed to be elected. But what we see most of the time is selection. So maybe because the people were not selected by the by the governor, so he just come have a brainwave and said, you guys go to your houses. And he appointed some people in interim and do some sort of election, which every one of us knows that it is nothing when we have to, even look at the election itself. So the second one, well, it will see the light of day. I know about that. But the first one, well, I don't want to preempt the Supreme Court, and that is why I'm so not really wanting to deal with that. But regarding Section 7 of that law, like I said again, the law is where there is a wrong, the law, there must be a remedy. That's the purpose of the court in the first place. It has to look for a remedy for that wrong.
What we see here are actually constitutional infractions by the governor.
Yes.
I mean, these are impeachable offenses.
But we know that most of the state legislatures are in the pocket of their governors. We've seen some speakers of assembly, kneeling down before their governors. We've seen a whole lot of things happen. Even not only the governor alone, even the wife of the governor. It happens in this nation. So it is not nothing. We know that it is what the governor says that is the law. So the governor is the law. Is the emperor of his state, and that is why they wield so much power. That appears that they even are more powerful than the president itself. Until and unless we have to, go back, like probably what they are doing in the National Assembly now, trying to do a piecemeal of some sort of restructuring. The regional government, the one-term governor election, for 6 years and all that. These are restructuring. So these things will bring about discussions, and at the end of the day, we might, end up doing something different from what we have been doing.
How will these two prayers be sought by the Attorney General of the Federation?
I think.
How will it affect the dynamics?
Yes. Yes, I think the Attorney General is being smart. He's very being smart, really, and I give that to him. Yes, he's a very perfect gentleman of a senior colleague of mine. So I give him that respect. And with this, I think he's very smart. It's very smart in the sense that he looked at what happened during the Buhari regime, when the state governors have to come up with a whole lot of things and bundle the man and punch him to a corner, and he has to do what he didn't want to do. So this time around, he want to see their reason, on oath, because you don't file anything at the court without swearing an oath. So you are putting it on oath. This is the reason you are opposing this. So with that, like I said, where there's a wrong, there's a remedy. And what the remedy the Supreme Court will look at is the intendment of the drafters of the Constitution at the time they were drafting it. So that's why I love
not just
when
the letters of the Constitution, but the letters.
The mind. They will look, go beyond the ordinary write-up of the Constitution and look at the mind of the drafters. That is why when, unfortunately, most of the drafters are no longer here. They've passed, unfortunately. I remembered when F.R.A. Williams was around, we said when we were drafting this Constitution, this is what we meant. You can see. So the likes of him, they are no longer here anymore, unfortunately. So, but I think the Supreme Court still have people that I know are very, adept in constitutional law and can do justice to that. To me, I believe that what the Attorney General wanted is to go beyond the letters of the Constitution to what it's like, lifting the veil. We call something lifting the veil in law, in company law. The lady of Femis, that is the lady, the insignia of law, is blindfolded. So he doesn't know whoever is behind, whoever is in front of him, whether it's family, he doesn't know. But the law says under constitutional law, especially limited companies, that that lady of Femis, the lady of justice, could actually lift the veil. He wanted to see actually who is behind that company. So there's a principle like that. I think that's what the Attorney General is asking the Supreme Court to do, to lift the veil of the law of the court to see what is behind the letters of that Constitution. And like I said, where there's a wrong, there's always a remedy. And I believe that the Supreme Court will do something. From there, even if the Supreme Court is saying and from there, I know there will be a lot of discussions that the National Assembly can hack on and do the needful.
What will be now the dynamics of the relationship between the local government and the state if those two prayers are granted? What will now be the financial relationship between the two?
Of course, the Constitution states that both the federal and the state government should provide for funding for local government. That will still continue. But the only thing that may not continue is, the governors just spending local government allocations anyhow, and probably that may affect the issue of just disbanding elected local government officials. So because they want to have a hand, they want to be the all in all regarding state local government allocations. That's why they want to put their own people there. But in this time, if the money is no longer there, so the money has to go to the local government directly, and probably there may have to be some tinkling with that Section 7 of the Constitution. It's too empowering. It's too large. So I think there will be some sort of division of power between the state and federal regarding the structure, administration, and whatever, and finances especially of local government. So the local government chairman will now be the number one person of the local government, and that's how it's supposed to be. Even under military regime, the local government administrators are very respected, and local government can do something without even reverting even to the head of state. But now we say we are practicing democracy, and even the foundation of democracy is being eroded. To be sincere, it is a paradox. It's very paradoxical. So what you are practicing, you are eating the root, and you wanted it to stand. It cannot stand. So I think some of the powers of the governor should be clipped, so that the local government could actually work.
Now, when this happens, the local government will now be the center of development.
Of course.
But
there will be a downward trend regarding security, because security is local, and the local government will be able to take control of the reign of their territory. So to that extent, they can work directly with the obas and the traditional rulers, because the traditional rulers ordinarily is supposed to be under the chairman. So, but today they have to run to Abuja, run to the capital city of the state. It doesn't work like that. You cannot, like I said earlier, according to Lord Dennis, he said you cannot put something on nothing. If people are doing the same thing the same way, somebody said that is the definition, and expecting a different result. You are doing something the same way, and you are expecting a different return. He said that is the definition of insanity. And I'm sure we are not insane in Nigeria.
Certainly not. Those who are talking about restructuring. We have seen the federal authorities through the office of the president increase the remunerations of justices of the Supreme Court specifically, and is it yet uhuru for them in terms of welfare? Is it looking like it?
Well, at least to some extent, it's a step forward. If you know the what the CJN have to take home before now, it's even less than $1 million. The CJN, so per month, it's really bad, and probably that is why we've been getting the type of judgment we'll be getting from this court, because somebody that you did not care for, you did not expect them to work their best even for you. So now that at least something has been done, it is not the judges alone. Even what of their workers? So you see, the judge is the last person on the rug. So we have the registrars, the bailies, and a whole lot of them. Even in that place, if they are paid too, is somehow they can jeopardize the case of any litigant. Just like that, you may think they are nobody, but they can actually show that they are somebody. So, of course, it's a good thing that the federal government tries to, increase or look into their welfare. I think the welfare of labor generally. Hello, sir.
I'm with you.
Okay, I think the welfare of labor generally too should be looked into. And this issue of we cannot pay more than 62,000 naira. The labor is asking for around 250,000 naira. All those ones shouldn't have been up now. There should have been a meeting point between the two parties in which they should have given the best things even for laborers too. Because if you do not get if you are working for somebody and doesn't give you the equipment to work, then to that extent, I know many private organizations, private industries, immediately you get employment with them, they get you registered in an hospital. You and your family, they begin to take care of you. But how many? And that's what we do to the elective and the appointive officers of the Federal Republic. So why don't we now begin to do that for the bureaucrats, the ones that actually drive the governance, that all the governance. So if they cannot do that, to me, I think that is why corruption seems to be more and more and more every day. Somebody called a radio station that was on one day, and he said his take home as a pensioner is less than 12,000 naira. Why? Because he's in PFA, and that the PFA no longer pays like the former regime that they have under pension. So a person that has been earning, say, up to 30,000 naira, for instance, is now taking home 12,000 naira or less because it's no longer at work. What happens to the pensioners? What happens to those classes of people that actually put everything to see that
of their life?
Yes, that is why there will continue to be corruption. Because if anybody that's at work now hear that Baba talking like that, they want to do everything to ensure that at least
they guarantee their comfort after office.
Yes, a life after office.
Okay.
So unfortunate.
Let me just ask this question as we wrap this conversation up. Is it still possible for the state governors to arrange the removal of local government chairmen via parliamentary means, I mean, this is a parliament, the state assemblies that enact laws for the framework, governance, and all of that. Is it still possible for them to get them suspended and get away with it, or even removed from office? Is it still possible constitutionally?
No.
Legally?
Even from where I read, it's a legal thing, and the Constitution had guaranteed that. And I want you to understand that where there is a conflict between any law of a state and of the federal, even the law of the federal will overrule that of the state, not to talk of the Constitution. So if there is a conflict between any law in Nigeria against the Constitution said a democratically elected local government is guaranteed under this law. So there is no law that can, take that off. And that is why the Supreme Court had heard severally that the actions of governors, dismantling elected government is illegal and it's unconstitutional. So the Supreme Court had heard severally on that. So there's no state government, for instance, that could just wake up one day and I wanted to do a law. In fact, that law will not see the light of day. And if it does, the court will strike them down.
All right. Mr. Folisho Olapo, Barrister at Law, thank you so much for your interventions and illuminating interventions at that this afternoon regarding the matter before the Supreme Court as brought to it by the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation, Fagbemi, regarding the autonomy, financial autonomy of local governments in Nigeria. I do hope that if judgment is given in favor of the Office of the Attorney General, the local governments and Nigeria and Nigerians will breathe a sigh of relief.
Yeah, of course. Local government will breathe, Nigeria will breathe, and we jump in elation, in jubilation, because the governors had actually killed the third tier of government. And that is why insecurity, food, and everything is this. That's why we are here. So if at least that is done, I think things will be, getting itself ready.
Is this looking like the restructuring people have been clamoring for?
Yes, of course. Like I said, if this administration will not be able to achieve anything economically, I think they are going to achieve something politically, especially regarding restructuring. You know, Mr. President is from that close. Is one of their own. Is a NADECO member, and the NADECO members, the remaining of them are still, supporting him and still prodding him on, especially regarding restructuring. And if you see what is happening in the National Assembly now, it would appear that the 2014 report is being trying to be enforced now, at least through the National Assembly. It's a good one. I give him a thumb up for that. If nothing, he's doing that, and I actually appreciate him for that.
Thank you. If Nigeria is reconfigured politically and administratively, we might have a more efficient system.
Of course, we will, because that's the essence of a federation in the first place. We cannot have a unitary federation and it works. No, those are two parallel things, and they cannot go together. They are two strange bedfellows. So if we are having a unitary system, let's have a unitary system. If you are having a federal system, let us have a federal system. And
a unitarized federation. Interesting.
Yes, we cannot have a unitarized federation.
Thank you very much. God bless you. Sir. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me, sir.
Thank you very much. And like you say, Baraka de Salah as the celebration continues. Thank you.
Same from here, sir. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Thank you so much for staying with us. Yes, that's been Barrister Folusho Olapo joining us regarding the conversation about local government autonomy has been sought. The interpretation has been sought by the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, before the Supreme Court regarding the financial autonomy of local governments in Nigeria. By some guests, like I told you, traditional title holder, Mogaji specifically, a politician. He has held office at the state level, and of course a legal practitioner. And of course he's going to be talking to us about the political angles to this. I'll be back shortly as I link up with him virtually. Yes, thank you so much for staying with us. Solutions 93.9 FM. Political Update is the show. Joining me virtually this Saturday as the celebration continues is Honorable Kola Adegoke, barrister at law, a Mogaji at that. I mean, he wears three caps. He's a traditional title holder in this sprawling city of Ibadan, a legal practitioner, and a practicing politician who has held office at the state level. Honorable Kola Mogaji, Honorable Kola Adegoke, barrister at law. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, listeners at home. Good afternoon, the anchor person on this special program.
Thank you very much for joining us and sparing us your time on a busy day like this. Yes, the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, has approached the Supreme Court on the financial autonomy of local governments. What are the issues at stake? Please kindly bring us to speed.
Yeah, if we are talking of the Attorney General of the Federation taking the right steps to strengthen or re-establish what we call fiscal federalism.
Fiscal federalism.
Yes, there are 3 tiers of government recognized by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We have the federal government, we have the state government, and we have the local government, which is the 3rd tier. All the way since democracy returned to Nigeria, we've had a situation in which the constitutional provision, Section 162 of the Constitution, provides for all monies made for and on behalf of the Federation of Nigeria be sent to the Federation accounts, and the money to be shared among the 3 tiers of government. Federal takes the share, states take their share, and local governments, 774 of them take their share. What we have over the years is hiding under the cloak of Section 7 of the Constitution by the states to, as it were,
that's the one for
virtually take over.
Okay.
Monies due to the local governments. What the Attorney General has just done is to give life to the provisions of the Constitution that say, without any encumbrance, without any hindrance, without any condition precedent, money due to local government should go directly to them. Not that whether under Section 7, whether under Section 8, somebody will sit down somewhere under the guise of having joint allocation committee of the state and local government to now share money. That is not the intentment of the draftmen of the Constitution. Their intentment is let monies due to all tiers of government be sent to them directly from the Federation account.
Now,
let's ask ourselves.
Okay, sir.
Does the federal government veto or check or put a check or a barrier on the way of money going to the states? No. In as much as the federal government does not check out money going to the states, why should the states sit over monies that should be sent directly to the local government? So the Attorney General of the Federation has only gone to court for the Supreme Court to interpret the provisions of the Constitution, that is to say, money due to Federation. You remember the case of AG Lagos versus AG Federation?
Exactly.
You remember the case?
Yes.
The case was that money, no tier of government has power to seize allocation due to any other tier. And the judgment of the Supreme Court in that case was to the fact that federal government does not have the power to seize monies due to local governments in Lagos State or any other state for that matter.
Exactly.
Just as it ordered federal government to return money to 20 constitutionally recognized local governments.
Now, there are 774 local governments listed in the Constitution, and we know that states have gone ahead to create LCDAs. Even when these monies are released now to the local governments, how will it be shared out?
Well, it is still part of our evolving democracy. For example, in Oyo State, there are 33 local governments in Oyo State.
Recognized by the Constitution.
In Lagos State, for instance, there are only 20 local governments. In Osun State, there are 30. So whatever makes any state to create a local government, in law, we call it inchoate. Inchoate means it is incomplete. Until under Section 8, 5, and 6 of the Constitution, when Senate will make what we call consequential returns. That means you will have to pronounce on the creation of those local governments to be enshrined, to be attached to the 4th schedule of the Constitution, wherein the local governments are listed. Until that is done, until you alter the number of local governments recognized in the Constitution, money due to local government will only go to constitutionally recognized local governments.
So how would money
For
now
example,
get to
in
the
Oyo State,
LCDAs?
33. If states want to fund LCDA through their appointees in the LCDA, money can be channeled from other local governments
Okay.
to local council development areas through an arrangement, as extra constitutional arrangement. I'll put it that way, extra constitutional arrangement. It is not illegal per se, as long as there is no account created for those LCDAs from which money will come from federation account into those LCDAs.
What if those LCDAs now misappropriate those funds allocated to them through the constitutionally recognized local government? Who will be held accountable?
Who should be held accountable if any money misses in any state? The approving authority. The approving authority and the implementing authority, the accounting officers. In local governments, as we stand today, we have heads of local government administration.
Yep.
We have directors of finance of local governments, or treasurer as it were, and we have chairmen of local government. Also, if money is missing from between local government and LCDs, who should be held responsible?
Exactly.
The accounting officers.
All right. Now, to the political angle to this, you are a practitioner in the political space. What
Yes, sir.
are the implications of this on the political talk for the governors? Are they being disarmed from their vice stranglehold on local government?
Taking what does not belong to you from you does not strangle you. Taking what does not belong to you from you.
They are clearly emperors. When you lose financial control, you lose control. When the local government chairmen become autonomous, they can work and develop their local government. Doesn't that, and then they become popular, and then you see they are working, they become popular, and then they don't need endorsement from any governor.
As we are today, Mr. Anchor Person, as we are today, what control does President Tinubu have over Governor Seyi Makinde? How much of control does President Tinubu have over Governor Seyi Makinde?
Isn't the situation different at the local government level?
It is not going to be
The
different.
relationship.
If we give life to institutions rising up to their roles in a democracy, once we have institutions doing their job, the governor will have nothing to lose if we allow each style of government to operate independent of one another.
Working for the people.
For the people who are supposed to be the beneficiaries of democracy, but who are being shortchanged in this present arrangement.
The shouts, the noise over decades about what has been called restructuring. Is this a silent, subtle reconfiguration and restructuring of our polity?
I call it restructuring through the back door.
Through the back door.
Because if it were to be through the front door, it will not see the light of the day, as we say in English language.
Are we going to therefore suggest or conclude that the master strategist that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is coming to the fore?
I believe, because I do not see any constitutional amendment that will restructure Nigeria without bloodshed. I don't see it happening. But if the present president can have enough goodwill, enough political will, enough charisma, with the wherewithal to put machineries of the state in motion for a beneficial rearrangement and re-engineering of our political space, I think is a welcome development.
Should the governors become jittery?
They do not have to be jittery, because what they are out to do is to improve the lives and well-being and security and welfare of the citizens.
Let me paint.
that we do all those.
Mogaji, let me paint a scenario. I'm the
Yes, sir.
chairman of Ibadan North Local Government, the capital, the one that is called the capital of Ibadan. I am performing. I am working. I am popular. And then the governor would need my endorsement rather than the governor endorsing me. Isn't that a change of dynamics of relationship? The governor will now require the endorsement of the chairman of Ibadan North. It is now the governors that will be cutting the local government chairman rather than the local government cutting the chairman.
If people will benefit from the arrangement, so be it.
So be it.
After all, power flows from the people, and we say that the closest tier of government to the people is local government. So if people use their wisdom choose to elect a local chairman from whom governors, prospective or returning governors, will need endorsement, so be it.
Power belongs to the people. Is it
Power
looking
belongs
like
to
it?
the people. Power belongs to the people.
Vox Populi.
It was for Lagos Day.
Wow. Mogaji and Honorable Mogaji Koladegoke, barrister at law, I am grateful for your interventions this afternoon.
We thank God for the opportunity.
And as the celebration continues, I say Barika de Salah to you, Ujuama Rodnu.
Yes, we are grateful. We will always be available to give anything that will benefit the people.
Thank you very much. God bless you most abundantly.
From my family house right here in the arts land of Foko in Ibadan, I say happy Eid al-Kabir Mubarak to all Muslims and non-Muslims, our well-wishers. I wish us many more of this special occasion.
Thank you very much. Stay blessed.
Thank you.
Yes, I've been in conversation the past 10-15 minutes with Mogaji, Honorable Kola Adegoke, who is also a legal practitioner, giving us his own angle, you know. It is an interesting scenario that may be unfolding. Power returning to the people. The one they call restructuring, he calls it restructuring through the back door. Quite interesting. Well, it's a wrap this afternoon on Political Update. Of course, we'll keep you posted and fully informed as all of this, unfold. Of course, the Supreme Court has reserved judgment in this regard. And when it happens, we'll keep you posted. Power belongs to the people. Vox Populi, Vox Dei, as they say. It's been Ayodeji Ajishokwe presenting Political Update this Monday afternoon with Victory Onyedikachi producing me. God bless you all. God bless our union. Bye for now.